Sorry, I feel like we've gone from casual convo into movie talk and back out of it. I think we should go back into. We
Well,
should get
guess
this
what?
started.
This is the perfect time. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Plot to Go. Owen, I don't know what episode we're at because the last time we recorded was so long ago.
Jack,
Is
it's
this episode
40.
40?
It's
This
40.
is 40.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, look, virtually I'm shaking your hand through the camera.
Yours was really
Well,
straight. Mine was like, I'm a fish.
and I'm Jack.
And I'm fish. I'm Owen.
Um,
I'll say my name properly. I'm not fish.
guys, a big disclaimer up top. We're now remote if you've been listening. Like last episode, we bulk filmed a bunch of stuff, and I moved down to England um 2 weeks ago now, and
And I
I'm
moved out my
still
family home. So we're
yeah,
both.
wait, that also did happen
Yeah, we both
between.
moved. But when I moved, you were still family home, so like we could still record and things in person.
Yeah, oh right, that's why I'm thinking. Yeah,
Yeah, but you moved in. I think I'm a little more set up than you. You've still got a lot on your
Owen,
plate.
that's putting it lightly.
Well,
I'm in a sea of cardboard boxes.
more set up in the sense that like, yeah, I think this room is substantially more set up to be honest. But like
Yeah.
this part, all of the tech and
Oh,
things and trying to
neither of
figure out,
us.
we don't know what the hell we're doing.
So this will only get better from this episode. I think the audio is okay, and that's kind of what matters for a podcast. Our
Yeah, it seems
visuals,
to
I
be.
apologize.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's
Oops.
like I've got like a nice camera, but like the lighting is shocking. And then I
Hmm.
think your camera's less so, but your lighting seems really good right now. So
I can't believe that you think my lighting is good. All I've used is a lamp, and I have this shitty ass light behind me.
I think if I move that lamp closer, but I'm the desk is pretty busy, I'm scared I'll knock
Do so.
water over or more wax or just an endless amount of stuff. So
Yeah. This week, everybody, we're going to be talking about what everybody's talking about. Marvel Zombies and Peacemakers episode 1 to 6. Wow.
you did watch six. I meant to text you being like, have you watched six? Because I think the plan was we will talk about episodes one to five. And
Yeah.
I don't think I was aware that by the time we were going to be recording, the sixth episode would be out. I sat down to watch it on
You've
Friday
watched it.
evening. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank
I sat
God.
down to watch episode five on Friday evening, and I was like, oh, two episodes to watch, um, which was exciting, to be honest.
Yeah. I
Because
actually think this is the perfect time to talk about it as well.
I think so too. This is when like most of the internet chatter for it has been happening. I think
Right, okay. So we're
from what
right
I've
on the
seen.
ball with this.
Yeah, yeah,
And
we're bang
definitely
on.
not the biggest movie of the year.
No, no. Why would we talk about that? To be fair, there's everyone's going to be talking about the biggest movie of the year.
Exactly. We're
We'll
just
catch
gonna let
the
it
coattails
marinate.
next week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and then
Um,
we'll talk about the nerd shit this week.
yeah, of course. This is the safe space for nerdy people and filmy people. Yeah, if you didn't catch our drift, we will be talking about PTA's movie next week. Just life busy, crazy. Before we dive into the other shit, though, I wanted to ask you, and I said to Owen up top, we normally see each other quite a bit. We now don't. So we're probably going to catch up over like film newsy, nerdy shit as well in the podcast. I wanted to ask you what you thought about the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, if you've seen it.
I like how you prefaced it with "if you've seen it" because obviously I've been aware of it. I mean, sometimes I
Yeah.
miss news, but that one has caught me twice now, and I've refused to watch the trailer because I just haven't watched a lot of the shows.
Oh
So I don't want to
shit! Yeah, you're
know.
behind.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just don't want to know where they're at or anything. Which does mean it's firmly putting a deadline on when I have to catch up by. Um,
Hmm.
because obviously they announced that film like a year ago or something. You know, when they announced that slate of like three films or five films or whatever it was.
Which I
Um,
think are all cancelled at this point.
That actually is a universe where I think they really are not good at committing to things.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, like there's things that change. I think DC, like the new, well, the old slate of DC got things got cancelled because it was bad. The new slate, James Gunn will look at the script and be like, "Oh, that's bad. We're not making it." And then you have like the MCU's been maybe not as of late, but was the most solid and laying out a timeline and then committing to it. Star Wars and Game of Thrones actually never commit to anything that they announce.
I think especially Star Wars. There's like posts you can look up about the amount of things that they've announced that have went nowhere, but that are like they've never cancelled them though. They're still like in pre-production.
Yeah, always
So you're like, well, what's
permanently.
actually getting made?
I
Yeah.
mean, well, the Acolyte was cancelled. I think it has to come out and then get cancelled for it to be for it to be cancelled.
Oh, that's really sad. I
Uh,
I'm just curious. I mean, I know you've not seen the trailer, so um, I will briefly give my thoughts. Bad trailer. Looks like a Disney Plus movie. I can't believe that this is a feature film that's going to be in cinemas. At least from the trailer. There's a shot of an AT-AT that I was like, this just looks bad. Like not even like TV, like movie bad. It looks just bad.
I
Um, but go ahead.
was gonna be like, well, yeah. What do you mean? You said TV there, like you were gonna float the idea of it looking like like a shot from a TV show.
Mhm.
Just because
It
like
just
the first Avengers looks like a TV show. It's a little harsh, but
no, not.
it's more TV than. I was just gonna ask if it was anything near that.
No, I just think it looks on the same level as the show, or perhaps worse. I think the show has degraded in its quality, like visually, since season one. On the whole, there's spots where that's not true, but on the whole, I think that's kind of the case.
Hmm.
And this looks more in line with the later season stuff. And
Hmm.
just to cap off that universe in like theaters, like having a theatrical release, I feel like visually you need to be doing something slightly different, or I don't know. It just feels weird to me that like something that I could easily see go straight to streaming is going to like cinemas.
Uh, you don't feel comforted in the fact that it's not. To be fair, oh, I guess that comes down to how much of a fan of like that section of the universe you are, because I feel like I mean, I haven't seen season three or anything like that yet, but I feel like if I came away satisfied with it at least, then I'd be like comforted that it was a continuation of that, but just in
Mhm.
film form. Whereas if you
Oh,
come away from those
totally.
shows being like, I'm done with this at this point, and then they shovel out the same like garbage, then you're going to be like, um, why would I go see this?
Hmm. I think yeah, your point about like whether or not you're a big fan of the show kind of makes sense because if say I don't know, what's a show that I really enjoy at the moment? Or Andor. Say though that like last chunk of Andor was shown in a cinema, I'd be all for that. It doesn't matter that it looks whatever TV quality means. I mean, Andor looks great. I specifically have always had issues with the Mandalorian and the tech that they use because I don't think it holds up. But then that's different because I feel like this is a TV show you're seeing in cinemas, whereas they're pitching this as the theatrical like culmination of the like Filoni verse, the like Mandalorian verse kind of stuff,
The
and I just find
Filoniverse.
that weird. Yeah, so I know you've not seen the trailer, but to get your opinion on how do you feel that this is going to be the first Star Wars movie back since Rise of Skywalker? Like this is their reintroduction back to the big screen.
I mean, uh, again, having not been caught up with what is out there in the Filoniverse currently, I've only seen what Mando seasons one and two in Boba Fett. Was Boba
Mm.
Fett after season two or before season two? I
Uh,
think it's after.
it was after because they returned Grogu in Boba Fett.
Yeah, so Boba Fett's a mess. I did somewhat enjoy it because I got absolutely fucking pummeled into the ground before I saw it, which
Lucky.
meant that I got to, yeah, that I got to like enjoy the bits of it that were just like not boring and stuff, or just weird, like the bikers, the fucking like Power Ranger bikers, like even though the show got shit on prior to that, I was sitting there being like, what are what are we doing? What
War-
is this? Um, yeah, so but I like Mando seasons one and two. I've seen, and it's weird because like Rebels is connected to all that, and I hadn't seen Rebels, so I've seen Rebels seasons one and two, and I was trying to get through that before I watched Ahsoka, and then Mando season three. So I'm at this weird stage where I think I've not seen like most of the decline of that
Oh,
stuff.
sure.
Um, so like personally, I feel good about it because aside from Andor, I think it was pretty much the most successful thing of like that. The whole of Disney Star Wars was like Mandalorian.
Mm.
So in my mind, that makes sense because they obviously had the Star Wars movies that were released that weren't the main like Skywalker saga were Rogue One, which is a good movie with a phenomenal like last third or whatever, and then Solo. I hate Solo. I think it is abysmal. So if you have like what I've seen from Mandalorian, you're going, this is the next one. And then I just think of like Solo as the other spin-off one. I'm like, oh great. Good going, please.
Yeah. I I'm trying to like picture it from a general audience member's point of view that maybe hasn't kept up with all the Disney Plus shows, or even like you, like if you haven't caught up by that point, like are you gonna wanna go see
Are
this?
you gonna want to go Mando? Um that is a good question. I think all it takes is a bit of Star Wars branding and people would go see it because it's just the thing in the cinema. Not as many as like, this is the new main trilogy Star Wars movie.
Uh-huh.
But
Hmm.
Um, in terms of getting people to go see it, I think it'll get enough viewership. I think in terms of making a film that is critically accepted well, might be difficult.
Hmm.
If you're
Yeah.
drawing in so many things that people are not going to have seen, you're going to have to find a very interesting way of catching everyone up. That isn't exposition or isn't bad exposition.
Oh God, yeah, you're so right because it's not like the Marvels or something where you have Kamala and it's like let's do like a little 2 minute recap on who she is as a character, and the same for like Monica. You have 3 seasons of a TV show, and also if you're looping in Ahsoka and all of that,
And Boba
how are
Fett.
you communicating that to an audience quickly?
Yeah.
Which is like I think it's kind of cool if their strategy is here's the finale of this for everybody who loves the shows. Here, go watch this. But I just can't see a company wanting to do that and sacrificing like box office revenue to like I don't know, it feels strange to me.
Yeah. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it turns out because if it's successful, do they just keep doing that? Do they just keep pulling stuff from Disney Plus Star Wars and then ending it
Oh my
on Disney
god.
Plus? I
And
really wonder
going
what
back,
their yeah, I really wonder what their Disney models, their business models are for
mm,
a lot of a lot of this stuff. It always feels like nowadays companies are so much more reactionary to the latest thing that happened. Um, and so I do wonder. I don't even. This is supposed to wrap up the saga, I believe, right? This like
yes,
Mandalorian
but
Grogu stuff.
I don't see how this wraps up Ahsoka at all. Like I
Okay.
don't think they can. There's so
Well,
much in that story.
maybe they'll wrap that up, and then Ahsoka will become the new mainline character for like the Dave Filoni stuff.
Huh.
Um, but already that I guess that answers my question of like, what if they try and wrap it up, and then suddenly Disney are like, this performed really well, like you have to keep making more. Like, where do they go from there?
Yeah. Just weird, something to think about. But I mentioned Kamala Khan a few minutes ago.
What a tangent!
Shall we dive in? I know. Can talk about Marvel Zombies, people. I
Yeah,
have no information in front of me because I have no setup. So this
I
is
mean,
the 50 something project in the MCU.
Uh, that doesn't shock me at all.
60, I don't know, we're somewhere up there.
I feel like this lined up just a little bit off. Like October is days away.
I know, I know.
This very much feels like, especially with like the opening credits, which are supposed to be way scarier than I think the show deserves, are
Yes.
they're like supposed to be like kind of horror-y sounding looking. Um, it's not even October yet. It's the end of September. I feel like they just lined this up but wrong by about 2 weeks.
We will get into it, but like one of my big gripes with the show was that fucking title card because I watched it with headphones on. So obviously you're watching it and it's like it does the Marvel animation intro and then it just goes and it's just like the most blandest font that just says Marvel Zombies. I'm like, you could have done something quite scary.
It is weird because they had like a really cool Marvel Zombies font. I don't know if it's from the
Yeah,
comics or not,
it is.
but they
Yeah,
just used that. That works.
yeah, very
Um,
bizarre choice.
yeah, I don't have anything in front of me either to guide me through this. I
Lovely.
watched all of this in a oneer last night, so it was kind of like a film for me in a
Oh.
way. Um,
This is, for people that don't know, Marvel Animation has kind of spun off into its own thing. They have Marvel Studios, Marvel Television, and Marvel Animation. And this project is from Marvel Animation, and it's a follow up to their What If episode 5, I think, from
of
season
season
1.
two. Oh, is it season
Season
one?
1. Yeah, season 1.
Oh, that
Yeah,
took a while.
yeah.
I think
So
it. I
this
think it
has
shows
been in the
personally.
works. You think it shows the work that's been put.
Yeah,
I would agree.
yeah.
Um, so this is a follow up to that story, but not directly. So that story follows a whole group of characters, and we end with Spider Man, headless Ant Man, or no, sorry, bodiless Ant Man, and Black Panther all going to Wakanda. Uh, and this show picks up with a whole other group of heroes who have been surviving this apocalypse, and their stories kind of coincide at one point, and then the story goes where it goes. But it is basically like a zombie virus has taken over a universe in the multiverse, and this is the story of the heroes trying to fight it.
Mm.
Oh, Juan, what did you think?
I really enjoyed it actually. Um, you said you one of your biggest gripes. Um, I don't know if I necessarily have gripes with it, if I'm being honest. It's I think it exceeded my expectations because the what the episode from season one, whilst I like it, not much in terms of like storytelling. It's very much like it is your shit sci-fi, which I enjoy,
Hmm.
which is just telling the what if part. Like there's the Doctor Strange episode that has the heart to it, and then there's this one which is just like, what if this happened? And then it does it, and then leaves you on a cliffhanger. And obviously that's I think they knew that they were going to be doing a show at that point, but um, I can see by your nod that means yes. Uh, but I like the way that this was broken up. I liked how at the start of every episode, I think every episode, I can't remember what the start of episode four was, if I'm being honest. But at least the first three episodes, they show you um, the the sort of tracks of different characters and where they were. Well, where two sets of them were 5 years ago, and where another set were from present day. I like how the show uses a lot of kind of like new Marvel characters because what we had when that first season came out, what was that? Was that 2021? 2022?
Yeah, I think so.
Bloody while ago. Um, we hadn't seen a lot of new Marvel characters yet, so all I think they were drawing from was that original set from kind of Endgame prior. So it was an interesting way, even as like an advertisement for the rest of the MCU, which is kind of what it felt like sometimes, going like, look, we have these characters too. But I really enjoyed that. I think and it's also necessary because I think they maybe played fast and loose in that first What If episode of just going like, we'll introduce all the characters, and this is what happens to this one, this is what happens to this one, this is what happens to this one, and I think they wrote off like so many of the main MCU characters very quickly. Again, I don't know if they were planning on that or if they were just like, let's get something gripping, for lack of better words, to get people entertained, and then maybe we can go from there. Sorry, my monitor just like reset itself. That's why I went dark there. I thought I'd lost you for a minute. This could be a janky episode, guys.
I'm here. I'm here. The zombie apocalypse hasn't happened.
I guess this is TV, so we get to talk about how it ends as well.
Yeah.
I was both really excited about how it ends and so fucked off. Uh,
Hmm.
I didn't know that this could end on a cliffhanger. I was not aware of that fact. So I was so ready for this show to wrap up in a one and done, and I would have been very happy with that, to be honest. And it didn't do that. So not super thrilled about that. Um, I really liked. I think the way that they've set up the villains in this, um, doing the whole like zombies but different. Having it's almost like White Walker-esque from Game of Thrones.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Um, having Wanda Maximoff is this sort of like leader, this hive mind for all of the zombies, I think works so well. Um, and it's cool because it gives like different sort of tribes of zombies. There's different versions. You've got like the base ones that are just doing their thing, the civilians. You've got the still like I was gonna call them metas. That's not what they call them in the MCU. In DC though, they've got
Heroes.
humans. Yeah, like you obviously see Hawkeye in the first episode really quickly, and he still has like his abilities and kind of his wits about him in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have obviously Wanda's like mind powers controlling them, which is cool because it gives them direction and they're all feeding her purpose. And then you have like the science ones, which I just like that little addition. You don't get to see them again, but it's nice seeing like a different version of mind control, and it serves the purpose of going like, this is how strong Wanda is. I don't think we needed to see that, but maybe if you're watching, this is one of the first shows you're watching, or if you've not seen much of Wanda, you really get to see how powerful she is when they go like, I've taken control of these ones with science, and then Wanda's like, nah, no, magic, bitch. Um, and I don't know how you felt. I didn't admittedly pay enough attention to how good the voice acting was, but I really liked Elizabeth Olsen in this. I think it was just
Hmm.
nice seeing her back as well. And doing the villainous Wanda Maximoff, um, without it just being like, well, what we've seen before is her character just switch up, but having the a literal virus be the thing that causes her to switch up, I think works. The weird reality bending was cool, just as some last things, and then seeing Blade Midnight, just really
Oh.
cool. What a character.
Hmm.
Oozes just fucking cool. The
Hmm.
whole every episode. I'm glad that he's there throughout because I was so worried that they would just like uh maybe end them by the end of episode two, start of episode three or something. And I was like, do not do that. Do not do this because you have just made maybe the coolest episode in the MCU, the coolest character at least in the MCU. Do not fucking kill him now. Um, yeah, sorry, I'll hand over to you.
Wow, that was like such a business meeting, and we'll circle back on this after. Can you?
We'll double click on that later.
I very much agree with like everything that you said. This surprised me because I went back and watched the initial What If episode because nobody'd spoken about it, and I was like, I did not think that was good. And you, as you said, had been like, oh, I don't think it's great, but I had a lot of fun with it. I went back. I think the episode is actually terrible, like really, really poor. Um, I honestly, it got me so bummed that I had to watch 4 episodes of this show because I was like, this sucks. As you know, and I've said to you before, the voice acting in that episode is rough, like really rough. it flies by. It's like 30 minutes, but it is the problem that What If ran into so often, where it's like, here's the plot of a 2-3 hour movie, and we're just going to condense it into 20 minutes. So it's going to be really annoying exposition, and then you're going to have the comedy characters go, "Ha, ba, ba, da, ba, ba, da, ba," and you're going to roll your eyes. Genuinely, I had an awful time watching it.
Just you're
So
speaking,
then,
and it's making me remember stuff that I wanted to say. Just keep
oh,
going.
well, it'll become more of a discussion after, I guess.
I'm like, oh no, I meant to say this. I meant to say this.
um, totally though, the use of new characters in this, it simultaneously made me feel really like happy that we were getting to see these people and they were utilized so well, and also really sad that the MCU has wasted people. Specifically, I think Kamala Khan is maybe the strongest character that they have at the moment. And I think they know that, and I think that's the reason she got the Marvels, and everything that happened with that movie is what it is. But the fact that they've not like touched upon her again is kind of shocking to me. Her, Shang-Chi as well, who, I mean, I feel like there's been so much like vocal outcry about how he hasn't had anything
Yeah,
since his
100%.
original movie. But I mean, he has. The thing is, I was actually thinking he's been in quite a few animated projects.
Hmm.
So have a lot of these people. Like, weirdly, one of the characters that we've seen the most since Endgame is Red Guardian, if like my memory serves me correctly,
Loads.
because yeah, he has like multiple What If episodes. He's quite a large part in this. Like, he gets like a 1.5 episode kind of arc bit. He has Thunderbolts. He's continuing to be in like the part of the New Avengers. I'm just shocked because he's like someone on the surface that I don't necessarily want to vibe with. I think his comedy feels in line with that like Marvel-esque, the stuff that's Marvel-esque that doesn't work with me personally. But he manages to make it work a lot of the time, which I think is really impressive. Like, to David Harbour's credit. Um, but it was just nice seeing mainly Kamala and Shang-Chi, and actually giving them moments together as well. I really appreciated. I also, in that first episode, seeing the three women, Kamala, Kate, and Riri together. Their dynamic was maybe the best dynamic I think we've had since Endgame, and it was in half an episode. Like, humor-wise, their comedy just felt so natural. They felt really like just well realized compared to a lot of the comedic reliefs or like the comedic relationships that people are having. Like, for example, I don't particularly think Aquafina, I think her name's Katie. I don't think her and Shang-Chi's relationship necessarily works in this as much, because I think they hand Aquafina all the "he's behind me" or "well, I didn't know that," and it, it's so annoying because I think on the whole they did such a good job creating a like tonal balance in this series, and she stuck out a bit like a sore thumb to me. Not always, but it was just a little bit. So I was like, "Are you so nearly had it?" Um, yeah, I really enjoyed the narrative. I view this as a movie, so it's kind of interesting you saying that you binged it. It's a solid movie, and I kind of thought if they released this as a 2 hour or an hour and a half, whatever it would be, movie in the cinemas, I actually would have happily like watched this in a cinema. I think it was so cool. The animation is a level up from the What If episode, especially. I
Mm.
think What If got better as time went on. So it was weird going back to that season one episode and going, did What If really look this bad? It didn't look awful, but it was definitely a step down from what I had in my memory. So the animation in this looks stunning, and they do cool things with it. Like, um, specifically in the fourth episode, they get not full on Spider Versey, but they get a little bit there with the way that they decide to animate Infinity Hulk and his powers and the like clashing. Actually, even in episode one, which, if we're just fully spoiling stuff, one of the coolest concepts I think they have ever came up with is the Valley of the Undying Gods, or whatever they called it, where it's just Captain Marvel and Icarus caught in a constant battle because neither of one of them can win, and the only times that they stop is to kill people that distract them. I
Mhm.
oh, such a cool concept. Um, yeah, I don't know. I really like this. Moon Knight Blade, which I was like, oh, Blade, cool. And then we got an added layer of coolness on top of him. Fuck, we're like, how can they not sort out a movie for
For
that
Blade,
guy?
it's
He is
insane.
so cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like how that's you ended as well. Blade Moon
Of
Knight.
course.
Oh, it's awesome. The Valley of the Gods thing's really funny because like it just had me thinking of like a section of map and video game. Like I wondered if they
No.
were just gonna like drive around for an episode or two and just keep fighting in these locations that had like things going on that they couldn't get involved in, or like almost like gimmicks or whatever. Yeah, it was a funny space. I couldn't remember the guy's name. You obviously just named him there, Icarus, because Eternals was
Hmm.
so long ago, and again, they have not picked up those characters since then. So it was
Yeah.
pleasant to see one here. Um, the Aquafina thing, honestly, I hadn't noticed. I didn't think there was anything
Huh.
in my mind that was like overreaching comedy, which I think is so easy for Marvel to do.
Mhm.
Um, Personally, it might be the guy that from One Division, Ant-Man and the
Jimmy
Wasp,
Woo.
Jimmy Woo.
Yeah.
Um, I think the character that maybe took that place in the What If episode, from memory, was Happy. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
he was the goofy guy in that episode. I think that, yeah, they do have a habit of doing that. Also, I think Paul Rudd was a bit like that in that first episode, but he didn't have enough maybe like
Yeah.
screen time to be that in this show. Um, the things I wanted to say was yes, obviously I said I watched it like a movie. To me, it just was. It was an Avengers level threat. It was essentially like an Endgame kind of movie. It had so many characters in it. Um, Possibly more visually appealing than Endgame. There was a lot going on. Obviously, you mentioned Infinity Hulk, but because it's animation, it's easier to do things like a one shot and things. And they played with camera angles so much
Oh,
in this
that
show.
was cool.
Yeah, the like you're talking about the Valley of the Gods, you have Kamala running by herself, or was that Kamala at
No,
that point?
Shang-Chi. Oh
No, there's
no,
two bits. I can't remember if it's Riri or Kamala that's running. I think it's
I
Kamala.
think
I
it's
think it's when
Riri.
Riri's. Is it Riri? No, yeah, no, because
No,
it's after Riri sends her away. Friday drops Kamala off, and
yeah,
then it goes. By the
it
way,
is
Riri's
Kamala.
not
Yeah.
dead. Riri's not dead. Let's just cover that. Surely,
Oh, you want to go
she.
into the right? I because it's funny you said about the ending. I think this could have been a real one and done, lovely ending. I keep it the exact same, but just not show Riri and leave it on this sour note
Oh
that
my God!
Kamala
Sorry,
is living in
I forgot
this.
that bit. I just was like, oh,
Oh,
Riri's not dead from that bit earlier. I forgot that she cuts through the wall at the end of the show. Um,
wait. Maybe I'm misremembering. What happens to her in episode one? Did she
in
not get
episode
eaten?
in episode one, they show like stuff coming towards her, and then but you
Yeah.
never see her death on screen. So I was like, and
Oh,
then Friday
okay.
goes back for her. I'm like, Riri's alive. So yeah, sorry, I wasn't surprised when we got to that bit there.
Wait,
I
no, no,
forgot.
no. But in episode four, do we not see Kate and Riri? Oh, but it's Wanda, so it could be
Yeah, but we
reality.
see
Yeah.
Riri cut through all the noise at
Yeah.
the end of episode
No, no,
four.
I mean like prior to that. When Wanda's trying to get Kamala on her side and she's like, oh, your friends are here and they're
No,
like
it was all the
zombies.
Thunderbolts gang.
Oh, fuck. Are you sure?
I'm like 90%.
Okay.
I because it's like there's like three main, and it's like David Arbor, Yelena, and oh there we go there goes the Mac stuff.
That nobody can
Um,
figure out how to use. Yeah.
and then Mama, what's her name? The mother of the Black Widow characters. They
Oh,
they call them Mama and
Rachel
Papa.
Weisz.
Red Guardian, the mom, and then and then Yelena.
Uh, um,
Um,
yeah, no, that ending I actually think is really good if Riri wasn't there because the Riri being there sets up something else. But how cool would it be if they ended it like Kamala's living in this world and she can choose to just accept that these zombies are all around her. Like she knows that the reality isn't real. Like, would she choose to live in that world or would she choose to like fight against it?
Yeah. It's such an interesting. I feel like it's so similar to the end of Riri's story in Ironheart as well,
Oh yeah, yeah, sure.
and they're both on cliffhangers. Marvel doesn't do cliffhangers a lot, so I think when it does, they stick out. Um, I personally
Mm.
don't want to be waiting another 3 years, for a
Oh
season two out.
no.
So hopefully they've at least started on that because
Yeah, I actually have no idea.
yeah, that I'm not a fan of that. Oh God, there was something else that you reminded me of. Oh, the way that the start of episode three is an interesting one. Um,
Okay, I actually was going to bring this up, so I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
it's an interesting, like it obviously catches you up, and it's a really cool watch. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the whole like Spider-Man voiceover for it, but they've obviously done that because they couldn't use Chadwick Boseman for Black
Hmm.
Panther, and that was their workaround. Um, I don't mind the fact that we kind of those characters aren't the focal point of this season. I think what we got was great. I didn't need
Hmm.
them. I did wonder where they were, and I'm glad that they got brought back in. But yeah, it's just a weird one. Hearing Spider-Man go, and then I heard Black Panther whisper "Wakanda forever" was it just felt a little off. I guess they couldn't really do it any other way. I honestly I sat there wondering if they were going to use an audio clip of Chadwick Boseman saying Wakanda forever.
Hmm.
Just instead, like that
I
would
thought
be
it
the
was weird
only
that we
part.
didn't hear it.
Yeah, yeah. That so I think like the voiceover, like I was a bit I felt a bit strange about, it, but then it just doubled down on that point where Spider-Man when Spider-Man goes, like I heard him say it. You don't hear it. It just felt a little off to me.
That's so fair. I was a little confused having just watched the What If episode and then jumping into this. It was literally at the end of episode two. I went, okay, I heard them say the Wakanda incident at some point. Are they going to address that? Is this a completely different thing? Is this a different universe? I was
Yeah,
actually confused. And then I started episode three. I was like, oh, cool.
the thing that clued me into that it wasn't a different universe was because I was sitting being like, why haven't we picked up with these characters? I didn't go back and rewatch that episode, so I didn't know like exactly how it ended and what I'd missed and things.
Mm.
Um, but the thing that clued me in was that Captain America was half a Captain America
Oh, yeah.
because that happens. That's like the thing that like stood out was him getting cut in half. So I was like, oh, so this stuff did happen. So then all it did at that point was lead me to the question of like, well, then why haven't we picked up with these characters? I didn't even
Yeah.
realize that all of that was 5 years ago. Um, like I didn't know
Well,
what timeline we were working in, you know?
you segue quite nicely into my like big gripe with the show, if I am to like give it a gripe.
Yeah.
If you think about this for 2 seconds, it falls apart. Like plot wise, you just have to go like, whatever. Why have there been gods sitting in New Asgard for that long who have been eating food for years, and suddenly now Wanda is turning them into zombies? Why have the people at Camertage waited this long? Like, there's so many timeline wise, it doesn't really make sense because they're using new characters, so there has to have been like that time jump, I guess, for them to have been introduced into the universe when
Yeah,
they would have been.
the Camertage one's weird. I think the excuse I'd come up with for the Asgard ones was just like maybe she just didn't have an interest in what was happening there. She knew Kamala was going there, and that's the reason that she went there at this point in
But they
time.
were eating. They had been like serving her like for so long, like for years. They'd been serving Wanda, the Queen of
Is that what they
Sokovia or
said?
whatever.
They said they'd had her for
Yeah.
years.
Well, they said that they've been the food and stuff had been delivered by the Queen of Sokovia. They'd been in relations with her, but like the the food wasn't real. It was an illusion.
Yeah, I thought
So
that
the
was just
food
that
never would have
feast.
been real. So what? So they have had feasts prior
Yeah,
that have
I
been
thought they were just
real,
living there, kind of
and
secluded.
Wanda has helped them along for that long.
Yeah, my biggest gripe was when they went to New Asgard, and before we got there, to be fair, because it's different. But I was sitting there thinking, how are they getting to New Asgard? New Asgard was established after Endgame.
Yeah, yeah.
But obviously, like it's they show up at a different New Asgard. It's just they just set up a different New Asgard. But before that point, I was like,
Hmm.
this timeline makes no sense. Um, I don't understand,
They're-
to be fair, like how Riri and stuff are all they're all like best
Yeah,
friends. That was the bit
yeah.
that was the biggest one for me was like how have these three come together?
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't know how that those relationships formed.
No, yeah, you that's it. There's a lot of stuff like that you just have to go, whatever, timeline stuff. Like timey-wimey
Yeah,
stuff. I will
thank you.
say I loved that this was as violent as it was and felt like really graphic and also didn't shy away from making characters disposable. Like it felt that there was a threat and an urgency around trying to solve the issue because any of the characters could go at any moment. I think the only person that I thought would be safe was Kamala. Um, but otherwise, I thought it was very much up for grabs who was like going to survive in that, and that was really cool. I think that's the kind of adding to the event like movie style of this show is that you do feel like danger for the characters, which was so cool.
Yeah, I agree. Like nobody's safe. I don't think I expected like Yelena to go before Red Guardian, for example.
Mm.
Like that
Hmm.
just feels. It still feels shocking, even having seen like the first What If episode where they were just killing off characters left, right, and center. Um, because I think they do a good job of making you attach to people pretty quickly, and then they
Yeah,
gone.
totally.
So
Would you recommend the show?
yeah, I would actually. I think I was sitting there being like, this might be one of the better things they put out recently. I do think we
Yep.
say that more often than we don't now,
Yep.
which is cool because I think for a long time, maybe we were saying that about 50% of the time, but I feel like every time we pick something up and talk about it, it seems to be relatively strong. I think this year has been a relatively strong year for the MCU, or superhero
Apart
stuff
from
in general.
February.
Apart from February, which was the new Captain America movie, which I'm still
Yeah.
pissed about
Hmm.
because how do you fumble a bag like that with, the actors that they had in it? It was Anthony Mackie's first shot at headlining a Captain America movie. That's not fair on him. Um, and they've kind of, in my mind, whenever they do something like that with something that was so strong, they've spoiled a box set. I know people aren't really buying those nowadays,
I
but when you pick up the box set of the four Captain America movies, that it's not as strong as it used to be.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I agree with you. I would recommend this as well. I actually think this is a good primer for anybody that's kind of been a bit iffy with the MCU and like abandoned some stuff. Watch this, see some cool characters. If you vibe with any of the characters in this, then go back and watch their stuff. If you really like Kamala in this, there's Kamala content. If you really like Shang-Chi, go watch Shang-Chi. If you really like Blade, sit and hope and pray that a movie will come out.
I was gonna say like it's funny that you say primer because Shang-Chi had like a good film and didn't get any sequels. And Blade has nothing. Kamala's show wasn't the best, I don't think. Like all of the strongest stuff was her family stuff and not the superhero stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have the Marvels, which I personally enjoyed. I think you thought it was fine. And then like, everybody else hated on it. So it is a real shame because you're doing everything in reverse, where you see like the
Yeah.
strongest content with these characters in it, and then go, oh, maybe I'll go research this, and then you get disappointed.
Yeah. Well, don't worry,
Sorry,
they're
be the
all going to
Debbie
appear
Downer.
in Avengers Doomsday.
Yep.
Moving swiftly along to a different universe.
DC.
Peacemaker!
A total tangent, but I was in Forbidden Planet, and they have it's like I'm talking actual comics, not like media and stuff. But like,
Hmm.
I'm not a big comic reader. I have some at my old house now, I guess. There's nothing there. Uh, like big comics and like comic books are really expensive, but um, DC are putting out like mini comics. I can't remember what they called them, but they're essentially like they feel like books, They're
Cool.
probably like two-thirds of the size of a comic book, and they're like £8.99. And they're like whole like Batman Hush. You can get that, and it's like £8.99. And it's like this chunky like novel looking book, but it's just like
Oh,
the comic
cool.
book downsized. So not weirdly tangential into something that's not related to media,
Wait,
but like
why
that's
is
quite cool, I
that?
think.
So it's like stuff that's came out before, but they're like packaging it just slightly
Just
differently.
packaging it differently. Presumably it's cheaper because it's cheaper to make, maybe?
Okay.
Not certain about that, but like I just think that's really cool because it had me like admittedly I spent like a good chunk of money this weekend, so I was like, I'm not picking this up. But it had me like, I know where this is. I know the route that DC are taking with some comic books. So like if I want to pick up stuff like Batman Hush, which I've wanted to read for years, I can pick that up for £8.99 and it'll fit nicely with like books on my bookshelf. And they also had like Superman Kingdom Come, which is like the
Oh,
version that
cool.
they based the Brandon Ruth one and like the Infinite Earths show crisis moment
Yeah,
thing crossover words.
you got
But
there.
yeah, like there's like a lot of they had in Forbidden Planet specifically. It was like if you're new to DC, start here. If you're new to Marvel, start here. If you're new to Dark Horse, start here. And they had just like these mini comics. It was just very cool.
Very cool. Um, I wonder if they have a Peacemaker book. You actually imagine that they will capitalize on the popularity of him and maybe give him like a solo run or something?
Do you think he doesn't have one?
He probably does. I don't know comics again. It's kind of one of those things as a kid like you'd love to um like read them and stuff, but they are so expensive. Like as a kid you'd like, "Oh, okay, that's not for me."
Yeah,
Like
yeah, exactly. Whereas now, that's more
silly.
attainable
Oh
for people.
yeah. Yeah.
Not,
Big money over here.
not for us. For kids, £8.99 massive chunky ass comic.
Oh,
Like,
sorry, right.
I mean, for us definitely because now we're making money. Like, ha, to all the
Oh,
people,
all right.
all the children that get a fiver a week, but but like they'll actually be able to afford comics now. Like if we were the age we were then now, we would be able to pick up Batman Hush.
And what a world that would have been. Sadly, we don't live in that universe.
Also, very nice. I was going to say like it's the only thing that's got cheaper over time. Apparently, is DC
Oh
comic
yeah,
books.
straight. Yeah. I can't buy eggs, but at least I can buy Batman Hush. Like,
Anyway, Peacemaker
goodness
season
me,
two.
yay! This is the follow-up to Peacemaker season one. Peacemaker season one was a spin-off of the Suicide Squad, which was a part of the DCEU, the Snyderverse that is now no longer with us. We've moved into James Gunn's DCU, and with that, he has brought Peacemaker along. He's just retconned one thing from the previous season, and basically made that take place in a different universe. And in this universe, it's the same show, but that one thing's different. This season, we see Chris, can't remember his second name, Chris Peacemaker
Christopher
as.
Smith. No.
Oh, it is. It's a bland ass name. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Smith. Chris Smith.
Christmas.
Oh my god, Easter eggs galore. I wonder if they'll have a Christmas episode. I'm loopy. Yeah, this season we see Chris Smith as he struggles to, I guess, find his purpose um,
Yeah.
on this earth. And in the first episode, we discover that he discovers a portal, a dimensional rift into another universe where another version of his life exists. I guess, yeah, this is TV, so
We
he
aren't
ends
bound
up
by.
killing a
Whoa.
peacemaker of a different universe,
Spoilers. What the
and
fuck?
whoa, and in the first few episodes, it's kind of him dealing with where he should live. If he, it's a push and pull between this other universe that promises so much that he wants out of life. His dad and his brother are alive, and they seem to be good people. He's dating the girl that he wants to date, and he is seen as a hero, whereas in the normal DCU, he's struggling to join a team and he's struggling with friendships and relationships. So it's this kind of like push and pull between what he will decide. Um, should I kick this off? I might kick this
It's up to you.
off. I've been enjoying this so far. I I will say it's felt a little. I'm gonna start negative. It's felt a little rushed. Like I get down to episodes and I'm like, what? How is this only 30 minutes? Like I sit down and an episode's
Mm.
just like gone like that. And I actually weirdly think, now that we're reviewing episode 1 to 6, as I said, it's like a good time to do that. But I think from episode 1 to 6, it is kind of played like a movie chopped up. And I know that um, it's not completely because it still is episodic, and I think the strength of James Gunn is that he has still written it episodically. But I'm thinking about the amount of plot that's been covered within the first 6 episodes and how long each episodes have been. I've just not felt completely satisfied with the level of depth that television can sometimes afford. I don't think we've been getting that. I think it is strong with Chris. I think Chris is actually weirdly having quite an implicit character arc. It's all quite internal, and I think that's really cool. I think John Cena is doing a wonderful job at playing him quite like internally, which is really cool to see. And I also think they are doing a fucking phenomenal job with Harcourt. I think she's so interesting. And I honestly view this season, especially these 6 episodes, as kind of like dual protagonists of the show, and it's him and her. I think they've done a lot of work with her character, being kind of in a similar position to Chris, but obviously not having um the what, dimensional portal, whatever, the escapism of that, and actually having to confront with her place in the world feeling worthless and unlovable and all the things that she's dealing with and where that's led her. I find that super interesting, and especially when they come together, especially in episode 6, where you're kind of seeing them like confront each other about it. I think super interesting, and I think that's the strength of the show. I think some of the other main characters have left a little to be desired. I think, to be honest, everybody else on that main team, I think, Ads and Economos, I think is his name, they're not particularly doing much for me, which is a little bit of a shame because I thought Ads was quite a strong part of the first season. Vigilante is my special boy, and I love him. I I don't care that he has no character arc. Everything that they do with that man, I appreciate. And I
Yeah.
wish we got more of him.
Yeah.
He's so good. I will say, James Gunn's humor typically works really well with me. Something about this season I have found unbelievably funny. I like it. His hit ratio
Mm.
is so high. Um, I used to watch this with my brother, like when I lived back home. So we'd watch it together. I don't think me and my brother have ever laughed so hard at a character as we did with Tim Meadows' character. His bird blindness as a running joke, it's fucking hilarious to me. I know that that will not be funny to some people, but to me, there's something special about that. Like every time he's like, and that duck, I just burst out laughing. Incredible. I think the humor is like really well injected into the show. You've got like Michael Rooker's character who shows up, who's just insane. Everything with Tim Meadows, that whole like gang, I really, really enjoy, and I think like it is a more darker narrative, I'd say,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
than a lot of James Gunn's work, I guess. Maybe not like Guardians 3, but he still manages to balance it with like such great comedy that yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I wish I was getting a little more out of it, but I think that also can just be like that can be seen as a good thing that I'm enjoying
Hmm.
it that much that I want more.
Yeah, true.
Um, what's your Thoughts, someone?
I feel about it, like very similar about it, but I feel like I disagree with some stuff.
Oh, okay.
Um, like the
Don't please tell me you like Tim Meadows though.
perhaps I will
Oh
start there.
no.
Um, James Gunn's humor, I don't think works for me as much, and I think I'm getting tired of it feeling very similar across all of the projects,
Mm-hmm.
and I wish it was weighted differently amongst them.
Okay.
Because right now I don't personally feel like it is. Admittedly, as the season has gone on, it's grown on me. I think sometimes it takes me a while to adjust because
Mm.
I think that is like actually is the strength of James Gunn is even if his humor doesn't necessarily land with me all the time, it's such like a him project. Like it's got his fingerprints all over it. It honestly hasn't changed that much, I feel like, in the decades that he's been writing stuff. I mean, obviously, like some of the jokes that will have been told will have changed, but like the style of humor
Yeah.
doesn't change all that much. And whilst in some ways I don't think that works, in other ways I do, and I think it carves out like an area for him. Um,
Mm.
the I'm, I'm not really a fan of the bird blindness jokes.
No.
Um, personally, I was like, this is really dumb. I couldn't get into it. There is a point in one of the later episodes where he does say, like, you told me he was a duck, or like whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. Because that makes, like, that so doesn't make sense that it's really funny. Like, him
Yeah.
not being able to tell what a bird is, I was like, this is ridiculous.
Oh no.
Him being told what one is and misremembering it to be something different is so stupid that it's hilarious. It just takes the joke to a level above what it was, and I found that really funny. No, I do think I like Tim Meadows in this show. It's just that one joke that I'm not vibing with, but the way that he the way that he just keeps giving everyone nicknames that are just
Yes.
stupid and offensive, but it's fantastic, and the way that he's delivering is great. The other thing was just that I think you said it was rushed, and I agree with it now that you've explained what you meant. But I was going to say it was a slow burn, probably because of the way that
Mm-hmm.
we're not getting a lot. Um, Maybe plot wise, like you said, it is very character driven amongst Christopher Smith and Harcourt, and
Yeah.
it's very much about those two characters. Where I'm sitting there going like, "You've run away. Am I okay to keep going?"
Yeah, keep going. I'm just grabbing a charger.
Where I'm sitting there being like, I want to know where the plot is going. Especially because in like week two, you said something to me that was like, oh, I haven't even read into that yet. I've obviously not been paying enough attention to think about where this story might be going. And it had me viewing the show in a different lens for like 4 episodes until we got a bloody reveal. Do you know? Um,
Totally.
um,
I would just like to say as well that I don't know when we recorded that I pointed that out, but it suddenly just became like the most obvious fan theory on the internet, and I was so proud of myself. And then I was like, okay, I'm not original at all. Everybody else has had the same idea.
to be fair, I hadn't. So, you had like an actual real life moment of telling someone that, and that was cool. Do you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like fuck the
Okay.
internet. Um, which I do think is hilarious because in that scenario, like mapping it to the show, that makes me Peacemaker and you Harcourt. Because I mean, granted, it was only like an episode or two, but I'm sitting there like I knew something was wrong with the world because
Hmm.
it was too good to be true. It was very much like a Coraline storyline.
Yeah.
But you just going, I think it's this, and then Harper walking around in this last episode going, being like, you know, there's no people of color here. She's been there for 2 hours. She walked through the door and went, this is weird.
We have Halloween costumes sorted, yeah? You're a peacemaker and I'm hardcore.
That's fun. Are you what to Heim? Just like
Oh no, sorry. Right. Slight tangent. Do you know what? Oh, tangent of a tangent. That emote has been banned on Fortnite apparently. Think
The-
about what you just did and what that symbol might represent.
Really? Wait,
Yeah,
but I
I
was doing the
think
dance from the show, and
yes,
that is that an emote from
from the show.
the show? And
Yeah,
is that intentionally supposed to?
I don't know. As far as I'm aware, it's not been confirmed. But then people
Oh,
have
that's
went,
actually
oh,
so
they,
interesting.
uh-huh.
It's like almost like a hint, like foreshadowing as to where the story might have been going. That's so interesting. Now I feel weird about doing it, but having no context to it, uh, that if
Reverse
that's true,
tangent
that
as well.
I'm more impressed with
Oh,
the
go ahead.
choreographer as well. Like you know how
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've seen that TikTok that James Gunn put out that just like them talking about choreography and stuff. I feel like they bigged themselves up a little bit in that video because
Oh.
they're like, "Oh, the choreography makes everyone look like they're an amazing dancer." I'm afraid
I can
I don't
point
agree
out
with that
some
statement.
people.
But both seasons have been so sold with the that
Uh-huh.
opening credits. The like both seasons I've started being like, what am I watching? Like the first time being like, this is crazy. Like it's such a vibe change from what the show is, and then season two being like, well, I like the first one, so why are we doing this? But no, it's grown on me so much, and I think that's
Uh-huh.
the kind of the consensus amongst most people as well.
Um, no, I love it. Back on the Heim thing, 2 seconds. So we had seen one battle after another. Spoilers. Um, Alana Haim is in that movie. I think I'm gonna go as her from one battle after another.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Are people? Do you
Anyway,
think people are going to dress up for that?
I don't know. It's Halloween.
Oh shit! Do I have to think of a costume? That's not enough time. I know it's a month, but that's not enough time. That's not enough time.
um, I do think with the intros, James Gunn is just so good at music. Like his soundtrack to all of his projects, I think capture the characters and the show so well. Like it was so cool to see how I don't know that song then also becomes emblematic of this season. Maybe it's just because you hear it every episode. Such a good song though.
Yeah, there's been a lot of TikToks that are like, you know, they had like the average Doctor Who cold opens. They're now doing
Uh-huh.
that for Peacemaker season two.
Oh, fun.
It's
That's
just
really fun.
it's so good. I love it. But I think I don't know. I can't remember how they were doing the Doctor Who ones, but the Peacemaker season two, they were just taking like scenes from random shit and like something crazy happens and then they do the song.
The bam, 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 bam.
Ba-da-bam.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, I really enjoy the show. And I guess yeah, I feel like there's actually not that much to talk about. Like you said, like they're very short episodes. Works for me because
hmm
I'm just built the way I am and I like to watch short things. Um, and I don't remember if it differs all that much from season one. I'm assuming it does. I feel like season one
It
probably had like
does,
full
yeah.
length episodes. I wonder if it's because James Gunn. I mean, he spoke about struggling to write this season. I think, and I
He
wonder if
wrote it
it's
in 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, yeah. I think he wrote it as a holiday
Yeah,
with his wife, who is Carport.
yeah.
So like, yeah, I think he just maybe had so much on that it didn't have like enough to put on a page for the early half of the season. Maybe I'm wondering if these next few episodes are going to be longer.
I mean, I yes, but then also I think this season being this like character study of those two people's interesting itself. I think it's more you're spoilt because you had a first season that kind of rounded out all of these people, and then you've slowly like distanced a lot of them.
Hmm.
That it's maybe a little hard to adjust to that. But I don't necessarily think it's bad. I just think it's like a shame that you're not
Yeah,
seeing
you just
more of
want
people.
more.
Yeah,
Your thing about Vigilante as well,
I
our
love him.
special boy. He's
I love
so
him so
good
much.
because he's so like innocent, but he's just like, but he's violent as well.
Yeah.
Uh, and like the way that reveal where he meets the other version of himself, and you're expecting him to be like this gritty vigilante, and he's like, "Oh my God!" And then they do the we're Spider-Man memeing, we're Spider-Man memeing, and then they're sitting there having that conversation. But the way that they cut between everything at the end of that episode was great. That last
It's great.
episode, the reveal, even though I mean everyone knew it was coming at that point,
It
but the way that they did
was
it was
still
excellent.
really well done.
Yeah,
Yeah. I love it as well because you have this goofy ass scene. You're like, I'm here for it. I will watch 10 minutes of the pair of them just asking each other questions and going, yeah. But like for that to evolve into the reveal,
yeah.
like he's the first person that discovers it. So funny.
Yeah, he just he discovers it for himself, and I like how that makes vigilante vigilante's almost like is so unchanged in that universe, even in his
Hmm.
morals as well, which I think
Hmm.
is so interesting. Like the rest of them, even though they're similar, like they have this underlying thing of like their sort of moral compass is different from the versions in Earth One or whatever. But
Hmm.
Vigilante is the same person. Also, very subtle. I think if you look at it after the fact, is like him walking past his mom and dad. They're very unhappy, and he goes like, "Ha, dad's not gay in this universe." Like obviously his dad
Uh-huh.
left because he like came out as gay or whatever, and like obviously maybe didn't love his mum anymore or whatever, or maybe never did in the first place or whatever. Like that obviously happened in his universe, but there was no place for him to do that in this universe, so he just
Uh-huh.
always stayed, and they're very unhappy.
I
Crazy.
didn't completely pick up on that. That's, yeah,
Yeah.
very interesting. Also, how terrifying is the ending? I know it's played for comedy, but also it's so terrifying. Chris's brother just screaming at ads and her being like, "The fuck?"
Yeah. So like obviously they very much focus in on him. I think he says a black.
He
Um,
does.
but I missed the part where someone goes like one got out. That's been like a quote in like TikTok comments like over and over, and I just somehow didn't hear that. But I was like, what the fuck does that imply?
Uh huh.
Um, and it
I'm
really
very.
makes me sorry,
No, go.
makes me wonder what the rest of the world is like because obviously like we're probably just going to see what the United States is like, but I think it's so interesting to
Hmm.
think of what that world is like. Because presumably if the US is taken over, the world lost. Um,
Yeah.
Not to give them too much credit, because fucking they blow their own trumpets of like, oh, we swooped in and saved the world. They didn't. But if I think this the US being taken over as a sign that the whole world lost
Yeah.
in that war, and so the whole world's
I'm pretty
affected
sure
by
that's
that.
what Earth X is as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, no, super interested. Very interested to see if they show. I think it's Overman, which is the Superman of that universe.
yeah, yeah. Because obviously,
Because I like. I initially would be like, oh no, they wouldn't do that as a show. The cameo they got in this, shocking. Like, absolutely shocking.
it does seem like I think James Gunn knows how to cast them well, and I
Hmm.
think casting to start with people that don't have like an ego that would
Hmm.
probably do TV. And then also they're not getting paid all that much, I don't think, at this point.
Yeah.
Um, so like it's not that far fetched for them to be on TV. And obviously I think I'd sent you the TikTok or the Instagram post or whatever with like um oh my
You
God.
did.
Yeah, David Cornsweet and John
David
Cena.
Cornsweet. Yeah.
And I think you were like, whoa. And that was weeks ago now, and now we have the context of the
Mm.
fact that he could be the bad version of Superman. Although I think he was in his Superman getup,
Yeah, he was in a Superman costume.
but they could have both of them.
Yeah, that'd be
Do they have the
interesting.
budget to have them fight though?
I mean, there hasn't been a ton of. Wait, there hasn't been a ton of violence, but the shot of. I'm sure you've seen people clip it. The shot of Rick Flag, like, kneeing John Cena
Yeah,
in the neck. People
yeah.
have slowed it down. It is. I literally don't know how they shot it. It looks insane. It looks like John Cena's neck actually, like, like goals.
I think I mean John Cena was a wrestler, so I guess he knows
Hmm.
how to take it. And then I thought the other actor did Winter Soldier, so I'm sure he's done enough like stunt work as well. But
Oh
to be
yeah, Frank
honest,
Grillo. Yeah,
I don't know how they would have shot that if I mean I think I did see the screenshot of his knee essentially attached to his neck. And so
it's
I
crazy.
don't know.
Yeah, but I was gonna say on the whole, there hasn't been a ton of like actiony stuff, so maybe they're saving it.
Yeah,
Um,
could be.
but also, I just like that. I think it's a good sign that James Gunn is cultivating the universe. I get your criticisms of it feeling like very James Gunny and it hasn't diversified yet. But I think the fact that he has really taken care of how this has started, casting people that are actually really interested in playing the roles. You know, Frank Grillo's played Rick Flag Sr. 3 times now already. Like he's clearly has an affinity for him. Nicholas Holt coming back, David Cornswet being so into it. Like I think he's properly trying to cast these roles with the promise of like you're going to be this character. Like you are going to be the Superman or the whatever. And I want you in the universe, not just the project. And if people are on board for that, I think he's probably casted with that in mind, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think
And
sorry.
I was just going to say, with that being the starting point, once he's established that and he's got that going, which I feel like he will have very soon, then you're going to diversify and go to other
Mhm.
people's projects, which is cool. I
Yeah,
like
it
it.
seems like it's going that direction. I mean, obviously there's the Clayface show that they were doing.
Movie.
It's a movie. Um,
Yeah.
which is like a horror or whatever, which would be so different. Yeah, I think you're right. It might be like, for lack of better words, like a necessary evil of like, oh, it feels samey and I don't vibe with the humor or whatever, but it's like a springboard into something that could be incredible. I think James Gunn also just seems like a fun person to work with and
Oh,
often just cast actors who are like essentially his pals, um,
yeah.
which isn't great if you're obviously wanting opportunities for other people, but there's only so many times he can recycle people in the beginning, and then he will start having like a million new people. So
I also weirdly think that that criticism is just nonsense because you get hired in any job based on your personality as well. And if you're going to vibe with the people in that job, if he's casting based on the characters, so who he wants to see the characters, but also, oh, I would enjoy working with them, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
uh, I do. Well, I didn't say there's anything wrong with it, but he does it more than anyone. Um, and I feel pretty correct in saying that. Like Nolan has an affinity to doing it. Um, Quentin Tarantino does, but like I think James Gunn cast what's the guy that plays Yondu? That actor's name. You've cut out for me, and I don't know if that's my fault.
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker. Did he cast him twice in this universe? I understand that the Suicide Squad is like a different thing at this point. Um, but he does have he has an affinity to doing it. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm not going to say it's an all-round good thing either.
Yeah, fair. I think it's more common than um, you think. I think it's just he has pumped out so much recently that it's obvious with him. But I also get it. I really do get it. If collaborations work well, why wouldn't you keep going with it? But that is a problem across the board with work in general at the moment. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, you got any predictions for the final 2 episodes?
Is there only two? Oh, there is only two. It's only an episode season.
Yeah.
I actually don't. I don't know where it's gonna. I mean, in my mind, it's just gonna end happy. I don't remember if they said like
Hmm.
this is. Sorry, end happy as in tied up in a neat bow. I think we'll be done with Earth X, is what I mean. Um, I do wonder, is this one where they've said that it's going to have massive impacts for the DCU or anything? Because oftentimes they say that. They're
Yes,
like, this could change the
he
direction.
has said that at the end of this, that it will become clear the direction that this chunk of story is heading in, and that most of the characters from this show will spin off into a different thing. So you will see a lot of them again, but we don't know what that is.
Okay, interesting. My
Yeah.
my prediction is that a prediction? I'm just hoping to see Superman. I actually like the new one has actually given me like a bit of love for that character that just did not exist in my 25 years of being. Um, which is very cool. I think it's cool that they've started the DCU with it. I know Creature Commandos was the first thing, but like a strong start with Superman. And I just hope it keeps going. But no, no predictions really. I actually don't think Peacemaker and Hardcore are going to get together. I don't think that's I think a, a, in terms of realism, which I think is um the most realistic part of that show is their relationship. I think it
hmm
hits harder if nothing comes of it. Like they obviously still have the conversations and there's more um tension and arguing and yada yada, but I don't think they necessarily belong together as the versions of the characters that they are.
I actually agree with that. I think the choreography in the opening kind of implies that as well. There's the moment where they're like going to reach for each other and then they're pulled away. Um, but I think it would be interesting, especially if this is the main takeaway that I'm getting from the show, at least prior to the Earth X stuff, is if they have these conversations and like are able to maturely move away together. I think to me also, um, yeah, I would like to get into Hardcore's mind a little bit more. So I wonder if that'll happen. But I don't really have any predictions either. I'm really interested to see where this story was going. This was the only kind of thought I had. I imagine the next two will be them escaping Earth X and probably facing off with a lot of people there and maybe killing them and then like locking away that dimensional thing because they never want to return to that universe ever again. I think they will want to try to get rid of the dimensional device because it's kind of it leads its way into multiverses, and I think they'll want to stay away from that.
I don't know.
Um,
Do you
would be
do you
my
think
guess.
they'll get rid of it in the sense that it will just end up in a locked box somewhere for them to use in the future?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I just don't think Peacemaker will retain that. I think he will head home.
Yeah, he'll lose it.
Um,
Well, because you've got like ads is able to use it.
I think it would be
Um,
really interesting if he heads. Yes,
sorry, we're overlapping because the connection's a bit dodgy now.
I think he will head home. Um, because that universe is a nightmare. But I also hope that he heads home and then headed home without the promise of him and Hardcore getting together. I think that would work for him, which would be cool. Also, just somebody pointed this out, and I think it's hilarious. We have now seen more penises in the DCU than all of Marvel, all of the MCU.
Did did we see a penis in Peacemaker?
Yeah, the orgy from episode one.
Oh, right, right. It's a bit. Sorry, just a bit. I guess so. I was a bit late to be bringing that up, Jack. This is the first time we're talking about Peacemaker. It's not like we've spoken
Uh
about the
huh.
episodes week to week.
No,
I
yeah.
was like, we're 6 weeks away from that. Why are people talking about that now? You just mean people have been talking about that, and now we're talking about
Yeah,
it.
I
I
do.
was genuinely like, was there a cock in the Nazi universe?
That's a sentence. Wow.
Yeah, there was. It was Hitler.
Good lord.
Yep.
And with
Uh,
that, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Plot to
I
Go.
just wanted to
Eps-
mention
oh shit.
the flag that
Yeah.
like when you finally get the reveal of the American flag with the
Yes.
swastika on it, and he had noticed it once, and Harker goes like, "This is your perfect universe. This is it."
Yeah.
Also, before you end the episode,
It's a
I have
good
a
line.
question.
Oh shit. I
We just didn't do
completely
one last
forgot.
week, but I do have one.
Go for it,
So,
Owen. I'm so raring to
oh,
go.
I hope it's worth it. It's a very short one. Oh,
Okay, that's not a bad thing.
I didn't. I honestly have not looked into this at all. What were your highlights from this year's Emmys, Jack?
Oh my lord. Wait, does the question say Jack?
No, no, it says to both of us, but I have not. I have not paid attention to the Emmys.
Okay. Um okay, a few lovely um wins. Krista Milioti won for her role in The Penguin, which I thought was so deserved. Sophia Falcone is one of the coolest characters I think I've seen put to TV in a little while. Was very cool to see her win. She was up against quite a lot of like heavy hitters, and it was nice to see them award superhero content. Um, but the role that she has in that show, she's like one of the, I've seen a lot of female creators talk about it as well, of like how satisfying it was to see such a rich and complex female on screen. 'Cause, like they're often in superhero media, they're not that complex. So that was really cool. Tremel Tillman won supporting actor, and that made him the first black man to win that award. And I'm pretty sure that was the last of the major black person hadn't won the award, so he was like the final person to do so, which was really cool. I think incredibly well deserved for Severance. He's so good in that
It is,
season
yeah.
just past. So that was awesome. I think the studio walked away with tons of
Oh, I did see
wins.
that.
One bit, yeah. Seth Rogen won 4 Emmys, which I'm like, go him. He's been working so much in Hollywood, and I don't think is one of those people that's not really like appreciated. Because I think comedy is often kind of pushed to the side, even in award shows with the award comedy. I mean, like The Bear has swept comedy for however long, you know. So it was actually nice to see a straight up hilarious show. I mean, it was geared towards Academy voters because I mean it's to do with Hollywood, but it really is that good a show. So that was really nice to see that win. Those are the ones top of mind. Um, I think.
I mean, you give three.
Yeah, I know like the Pit one drama, but I've not seen the Pit and stuff. I'm a little sad that like some people from the White Lotus didn't win. Oh, Britt Lower as well won for Severance, and she had a really cool little bit that she did on stage. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah, I saw I think it was it Let Me Out or something on the back of her little
Yeah,
like
she.
speech.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so cool. Because she was like, "Oh, you know, thanks from Heliar and like Helena, like, and yeah, had the note there to signify her, which was so
I th
cool."
I think we're missing
Um,
like suspenseful um kind of low sci-fi shows. Do you know, like I think like long running ones. Like there's not enough of stuff like that. I think that's why
um,
obviously that's also very well executed. But there's I say low sci-fi. I mean like I'm thinking like Lost or something like things that people could really like grip onto like decades past. I don't think there's anything really like that. So Severance.
uh, yeah, okay.
It's
Oh
also really
my
well executed. I
lord.
think that says a lot. Um, but yeah, there's like this whole culture around. Culture is a strong word, but obviously, like at the start of this year, Severance was like such in the like the general conversation. Um,
hmm
and it had been a while since we got that.
Totally, totally. Um, and very finally, the people who won Hacks, so well deserved, both of them. incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you've been preaching about that show for years, so
I love it. You should watch it. You should watch it. So good.
eventually.
Eventually.
When I start watching Doctor Who
Well,
over and over again,
Jesus Christ. If you want to hear more Doctor Who thoughts, go berate Owen on
I thought I'd
Instagram.
just
Go
get
to
it
the
in.
Plot to Go accounts.
You ask me any questions about Modern Who, I'll answer them.
No joke. If you go to the social channels for Plot to Go and just write a message about Doctor Who, I'm sure Owen will respond. Uh, Thanks so much for watching this or listening to this episode of Plot to Go, episode number 40. Next week, we will be talking about one battle after another. Finally, I will have seen a few different things by then. I don't know what you'll have seen, so there might
Uh,
be something else.
maybe nothing. I think the Friday showing this week might be Golden Eye. So um,
Oh, you still going to see the Smashing Machine?
oh shit, that might be booked. I need to look into that.
Who knows? Tune in next week to find out.
I do want to see that. So hey, you know,
I went to a secret screening last week because I thought it was going to be. It was a movie called I Swear, which I guess we won't actually talk about here. Probably go watch that movie. That's my recommendation to people. It kind of shocked me how much I enjoyed it. I saw trailers and I just thought, I'm not that interested in the movie. The movie's hilarious. It made me cry multiple times. It's nice to see Scotland on screen, and it's a really, really lovely movie.
it's Scotland.
Yeah,
You've just like rocketed that up my like want to watch list now.
it's properly Scottish as well. It's small town Scotland, which is cool.
Cool.
But if you want more of us, you can follow us on
YouTube.
with this
The
delay
delay is bad. Yeah. Spotify,
and
Instagram,
and
TikTok,
and
Apple Podcasts. I did that in a really weird order. I couldn't remember what the other one
wow,
was. Yeah.
we got there in the end. Yeah, so tune in next week for that, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.